Every night I have the same recurring dream. There you are,
Did you hear that? That is a cover of a Willy Deville song. I usually hate Willy Deville covers because the original is just too damn good. But this is a different situation. This is YaDonna West. She used to work for 10 years with a big man, and on October the 20th, last Sunday, she was in Holland to open an exposition in the Herman Brood Museum in Zwolle. I was there also and had the pleasure of talking to her for a few minutes, asking her a few questions. And of course, the first thing I asked her was, what are you doing now?
Okay, so back home in New Orleans, I've been working at this beautiful hotel for nearly 12 years, singing every weekend, and they love me there, they want to keep me there, so that's where I am. I do a lot of private events, and sometimes I go on the road. A couple of years ago, I went on the road with Neil Young and did a 5-week tour with him. It was fabulous. And then I did the show, the Jimmy Fallon show with him in 2015. And I usually go to Brazil because I have my own thing out in Brazil, so I travel a little bit as well. So, but most of the times I'm at home doing my my hotel gig. Yes. In my hometown.
New Orleans, how is it nowadays? Because after Katrina,
Yeah,
a lot of things went on, but how is it? Is it building up again?
Oh God, yes. It's absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's a beautiful city. You all should come. Come on. Yay! It's really great. It's coming along really well. Most of the city is up and running. There's only a few spots that may not be, you know, where it used to be. But for the most part, the city is back in business.
And
all right? Yes.
Anyway, the main reason we're here, Willy Deville, the exposition here. And on YouTube, I saw as a comment under a song that you did, Bridge Over Troubled Water, that you did in Karlsruhe with him, that you said you worked 11 years with him.
Yes.
This all started in the period with Picture Mixer, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did it come about?
Well, in 1988, Willy was in New Orleans. He stayed in New Orleans for quite a few years, and he was interacting with some of the musicians there. One of the musicians, well, a big-time producer, Alan Toussaint, I'm sure you all heard about him. He, Willy worked with him on a project, which was Victory Mixture, and he wanted some backup singers, and I'd worked with Alan as a teenager. He's my protege. So I started recording with him when I was like 15 years old, and so he used to recommend us when people came to do albums in New Orleans if they needed singers. Myself, my cousin, and my aunt, who's actually 3 of us, he would always recommend us to sing background. And so Willy wanted some backup singers, but he only needed 2, which myself and my cousin. And so we went to the studio and we saw this guy with this long black hair, and I was like, wow, who is this guy? When I was a teenager, you know. And he was so nice and so sweet, and he told us what he wanted to hear, and we sang it, and he was like, oh my God, y'all have voices like angels. And so ever since we recorded for him, he was like, I'm gonna have to take y'all on the road with me. And we were like, sure, we'll go. So 5-6 years later, we were on the road with him.
Yes. What was he like when he was on tour? Was he strict for his musicians?
No, oh no. Willy was the easiest going person to work with, I swear. We got to New York first tour we did with him. We got to New York. We went to the studio to rehearse because there are rehearsal studios in New York. And he came in there and he was like, oh, it's great to see you girls again. And so him and Dave sat down with us and told us what they wanted to hear. And we just sang and he enjoyed it. But he was always he's always been a sweet person. There's nothing, I mean, if anybody knows Willy personally, they know that he was a genuinely sweet person.
A romantic.
Yes, he was, yes. You can tell by the beautiful songs he wrote, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
So, being on the road with him, there were some other things that we have to address them. He did do drugs at a certain point, but this was in the time that he was with Lisa. So there were no drugs involved at all.
Well, he had his ups and downs, you know. From what I didn't get too deep into his life as a drug addict. I only saw him as a person, and Willy Deville, and somebody that I enjoyed working for and I loved, because he was very sweet to my cousin and I. But I did know that he had a problem, a sickness.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that particular sickness. But he worked hard at trying to get rid of that sickness, but then there were some other things that, you know, he got a hold to that brought him down as an artist as well. And then when you have people that hang around that are enablers, you know, and they bring stuff to him, it makes it hard for him to be, you know, to become a sober person and to do his work like he really wanted to do it. So yeah, there were some ups and downs, but nothing stopped him from being Willy Deville and doing his work and giving these people the most prettiest music you could ever hear. You know, none of that stopped it.
One of the most atypical things about Willy as an artist, in my opinion, was that he never got involved with groupies and so on. When he was with a lady, his own lady, whether it was with Toots or Lisa or later Nina, there were never any chance for groupies to come.
That is
but
right.
They came.
They came, yeah.
What happened on a situation like
that? Well, they came, and some of them were had googly eyes, I guess you would say, for him, because Willy was a handsome, nice-looking man. You know, he dressed well, he looked well, and of course, women were attracted to him. But he stayed away from that, you know. And if Lisa was not around, or if you know, Nina was not around, he would stay in the dressing room and call myself and Doreen and say, "Come here, girls, I want to talk to y'all. There's a group of ladies out there that's trying to get my phone number or try to take me home. Could you please walk me to my hotel room or something?" It was funny times. It's really, nobody's gonna do you anything. Just get Hurdy to help you to your hotel room. But yeah, he avoided that with, you know, he avoided that totally. That was not something he was interested in. He would say hi, you know, sign autographs and stuff, but to interact with a female like that, he didn't do that. He was a very respectable man. Yes.
It lasted 10, 11 years?
11 years, yeah.
And then?
And then if he got sick, yeah, he got sick. So yeah, and everybody knows what happened after that. I had no idea he was sick until pretty much the last few weeks, like 5-6 weeks. I found out he was really, really sick. Because I talked to Nina a couple of times, and she said Willy was doing tests. That's what she said. He was having some tests done, but he was okay. And I spoke with him briefly. He said that he was going to have a couple more tests done. And I told him, I said, well, I was just calling to check on you, see how you were doing. He said, well, I'm fine, Lisa, because he called me Lisa. Lisa was my middle name, and same as his wife, his middle wife, Lisa. So he called me Lisa as well. So he said, well, I got 2 Lisas on tour with me. So he said, Lisa, I'm doing fine. Thanks for calling me. I got a couple of appointments I'm going to. He said, but it's great hearing from you. That was the last time I talked to him. Then Nina called and told me that he was in the hospital. And I'm like, for what? You know, what's going on? And she said, well, some of the tests came back, and he has to stay in the hospital. But I didn't know that he was really, really sick. I had no idea. And then some weeks passed, and she called and said, Willy was really, really sick. He was dying. And I was like, dying? What? From what? So that's how I found out he was actually dying from pancreatic cancer.
Looking back at the entire period of working with Willy and knowing him and being so close to him, what is the fondest memory you have?
My fondest memory of Willy was when he invited me, my cousin, and our entire family to his house in Mississippi. So you got all these black people going to a house with a white boy and a white girl and their white family. And we had a ball because he had barbecue pits set up for us to have all kinds of food. That was one of the most fantastic. And I have all these wonderful pictures of him playing with the kids and letting the kids ride his horses. It was absolutely fantastic. And we were treated just unbelievably well. Willy was such a great hostess. I mean, just a host that was just, him and Lisa. And I met Lisa's mother the first time I met her mother. And it was fantastic. She was a great hostess. Willy was a great host. They were fantastic. That was my most fondest time with him. Aside from going on the road and having all these crazy, experiences with him, but that particular time, it was unbelievable. It really was. I enjoyed myself. And I missed that time. I have the pictures and I was looking at them before I came out here, and I was telling Herdy I wanted to bring some, but of course I left and forgot them. But I'll get them to you, Herdy, I promise.
Can't do without it. Love makes you treat me so bad. Love makes you treat me so bad. Little girl, you know you move me so much. I wanna bring you home, my babe. Little girl, you know it should move you to now. You see a good man go down this way, and it's love. So bad, love makes you treat me so bad. Love makes you treat me so bad. Every night I have the same reoccurring dream. There you are, dressed so fine, standing next to me. Just you and me in a church of old, standing hand in hand. And the choir sings Ave Maria. I look into your eyes, they say a million things. Cathedral bells, they start to ring. Heart and soul, forever and ever. Heart and soul, forever and ever. Heart and soul. You promised me with just a kiss and a slow embrace. You promised me like I promised you. Stand by me and I'll stand by you. I wanna hold you close, soft and low, that you're all I need. And the choir sings Ave Maria. I look into your eyes, they say a million things. Cathedral bells, they start to ring. You are mine, yes you are mine. You are mine, forever and ever. Heart and soul, forever and ever. Heart and soul, forever and ever. Heart and soul. And if I only kissed you once and never really possessed your love, I'd surely go mad. And when a madman roams the street, a sad sight for his friends to see, he's a broken man from his broken dreams. Every night I have the same reoccurring sing.